Alright, so this is going to be our review for our study guide for this unit. This is fractions, decimals, and long division. And again, what I need you to make sure that you have done is that you have already finished this study guide from start to finish before watching this video. Then come here, watch this video, and go to any question that you missed. So if you got a question correct, there's no point in you coming back and checking it. You can skip around in the video. If you miss most of the questions, you probably should just go ahead and watch the whole thing. So, for number 1, Julie has 3 1/3 yards of fabric to make doll outfits. Each outfit requires 5/6 yards of fabric. What is the maximum number of outfits Julie can make with her fabric? So, for this is a division of fraction problems. All fraction problems that you're going to see today and tomorrow on the test will be division. So we've got 3 1/3 total yards, and we're dividing that up into 5/6 sections for her dolls. Now step number 1 is we write out the problem. Step number 2 is rewrite everything as an improper fraction. So that means we have to take this 3 1/3 and make it improper. To do that, take the big number and multiply it by the bottom number. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then take that amount and add it to the top number. So that 9 plus 1 gives me 10. That's my new numerator. Denominator stays the same. And all we're doing is rewriting. We're not doing keep, change, flip yet. So now that I've done step 2 and rewrote it, now I can do keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same, 10 over 3. Change to multiplication, so that is now 6 over 5. And multiply straight across. 10 times 6 gives me 60, and 3 times 5 gives me 15. Now 60 over 15, you could start simplifying that, but 60 can be divided by 15. And you can kind of see the answer has to be a whole number. So 60 divided by 15, that will give me my answer of 4. That's going to be our answer for number 1. Let's go ahead and clear our board. Make sure I select my answers. That way we can be checking the answers as we go. For number 2, Mr. Smith has 5.5 acres of land. He divided it into 1/2 acre lots. So nice and easy. It told us exactly what we're dividing. This is 5.5 acres divided into 1/2 acre sections. So step 1, we write it out. Step 2, change to improper fraction. So 5 times 2, that's 10, plus 1 gives me 11. Divided by 1/2. I forgot to put the numerator back here, or denominator. There we go. So we've got step 1 up there, step 2 down here. Step 3, we rewrite this again, so that it is keep, change, flip, 11 over 2 times 2 over 1. Multiply straight across. 11 times 2 gives me 22. 2 times 1 gives me 2. And my question becomes 22 divided by 2, which is just going to be 11. So for number 2, when we simplify that, that gives me an answer of 11. Let's check the next problem. I think this might be our last division of fraction problems. It says Ryan has 3/4 tank of gas in his car. Okay, it takes 1/6 of a tank to drive to soccer practice and back home. With the gas in his tank, how many times can he drive to soccer practice and back home? Okay, so we've got 3/4 of a tank of gas, and we're dividing that into 1/6 sections. We want to see how many times this 1/6 represents one time going back and forth to soccer practice. So step 1, we write it out and change to improper fractions. We don't have to worry about that. They're already normal fractions. So here we can just skip to keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same, change to multiplication, and flip my second fraction. So 3 times 6 is going to give me 18, and 4 times 1 gives me 4. Now you can already see there's a bit of an issue. All of these answers are whole numbers, but 18 is not evenly divisible by 4. Here's what's happening. we have to see how many times 4 goes into 18. We're going to change this into a mixed number. So 4 goes into 18, and I'll write it out over here in case you are having trouble visualizing it. 4 goes into 18 4 times. That becomes my big number. And we subtract 18, because 4 times 4 gives me 16. And it gives me a remainder of 2. And my denominator is still 4. So in actuality, how many times can he drive back and forth? Well, he can drive back and forth 4 2/4 of a time. Now, when you're looking at this, you have to think, how many times will he make it to and from soccer practice without running out of gas? So he can make it evenly 4 times. But if he tries to go 5 times, he won't make it. He'll only make it halfway before he runs out of gas. So for this one, even though we got 4.5, this is actually going to just round down to 4 times. Because if he can only make it halfway to soccer practice, he's not making it to soccer practice that day. So that's what happens with number 3. For number 4, this is one of our long division problems. It says, an art club at a school organized a contest between homeroom classes. Each student in the winning class will receive the same amount of candy. There are exactly 19 students in the winning class. The art club has 1,068 pieces of candy. So we're going to set up my long division. We've got 1,068, and we're dividing this for 19 students. So when I set up this problem, I solve it the same way as normal. I can already see what's kind of going to happen. There's only going to be 2 numbers. 19 does not go into 1. It doesn't go into 10. We have to see how many times 19 will go into 106. Now, remember what I kept saying yesterday. Multiple choice problems for division is unfair. It's easy. It's too easy. Because you know it has to either be 5 or 4 or 3. Well, since I see 2 of the options say 5, I'm going to try 5. Let's try 5 times 19 and see if that works. So 5 times 9 gives me 45. Carry my 4. 5 times 1 gives me 5 plus 4 gives me 9. 95. So yeah, 5 times will work. So I can already start crossing out my answers. I know it's not going to be either one of them. 5 times 19, that's 95 that we're subtracting. So we'll go ahead and break this down. That gives me a 1. Do some fancy borrowing over there if you want, but it would be a 1. Then we carry down this 18, or this 8, to get 118. So we gotta think, how many times 19 will go into 118? Well, we have answer choices. It's either going to go in 1 time, or it's going to go in 6 times. Well, obviously 19 will fit into 118 more than once. So I can eliminate this answer and assume, oh, it must go in 6 times. Which, if you did run the math and add like 1 more 19 here to give you 6 19s, that would give you a 4, carry the 1, that would give you 114. So if you really wanted to, that is how this problem would end up shaping out. So that is going to be it for number 4. Let's go ahead and clear the board, mark the answer, and move on. Number 5, another long division problem. Last year, there was a team of statisticians and scientists working to discover the population of penguins in Antarctica. The teams came up with a total of 11,456,000 penguins over the course of 1 year. It's a lot of penguins. On average, about how many penguins were discovered each month? So this is over the course of 1 year, and they recorded different penguins each month. Well, there are 12 months in a year, so it's safe to say that we are going to be dividing the total number of penguins by however many months there are in a year, which is 12. So we are doing 11,456,000 divided by 12 months in a year. Now this looks scary, but it really isn't. There isn't that much going on. You're basically just dealing with your 12 times tables here. So we've got 12 goes into 1, it doesn't. 12 goes into 11, it doesn't. 12 goes into 114. Well, think back to your 12 times tables. Like 12 times 10 would equal 120. So obviously it's not 10 times. 12 times 9 would equal 108. Well, then it must be 9 times. 9 times 12, 108. It's just part of our times tables. Do our subtraction here. You would borrow for this and make that into a 0, make that into a 14. And that would give you a leftover of, I believe, 6. Carry down this 5. And actually, we can already start crossing things out. We already know it's not going to be these two, because these two, their first number was a 1. When we are solving it, our first number was a 9. So already we're off to a better start. 12 goes into 65. We know it has to be 5 times. 5 times 12 is 60 after all. We'll subtract that to get a leftover of 5. Carry down this 6. We try to think how many times 12 will go into 56. The answer is going to be 4 times. 4 times 12 gives me 48. We'll subtract that. That gives me a leftover of, let's see, that divided by that. Wouldn't that just be a 6? Let's see. Yeah, borrow from that. That becomes 16. 16 minus 8 is going to be, that's actually going to be 8, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be an 8. Almost forgot how subtraction works. So we are going to carry down this 0. So 12 goes into 80. How many times does 12 go into 80? Well, 12 times 6 would be 72. 12 times 7 would be 84. So it only goes in 6 times. So 6 times gives me 72. We'll subtract to get 8 again. Carry down this 0. 12 goes into 80. 6 times. Gives me 72. I'm running out of space quickly. Gives me an 8. Carry down my 0, and this is the last number. 12 goes into 80 one last time, 6 times. So my answer is going to end up being, and because it said about, we know that this is going to repeat. If you wanted to add a decimal and some zeros, it's going to keep repeating the 6. That 6 is going to continue happening forever and ever. So it says about. That tells me it doesn't want the exact decimal amount. After all, you can't discover 0.6 of a penguin. It's not really a thing. So if I had to estimate this and round it to the nearest whole number, the closest answer to this, 0.6 if it kept going, is going to be 954,666 penguins. That's going to be the answer we're going to go with. Alright, let's go ahead and clear that away and move on to the next one. A decimal problem. It says Carrie and Diana ate lunch at a restaurant. They ordered one pizza that costs $13.02. Diana ordered a chicken wings for $12.99 and drink for $3.25. Carrie ordered a salad for $6.25 and a drink for $3.25, and they left a $10 tip. So, Diana paid for her food plus half the cost of the pizza and half the tip. And it wants to know how much Diana paid. Okay, this one's really tricky. This was a hard one. So this one, it said they ordered one pizza. Diana paid for her food. So Diana paid for this. She paid for, we're going to say, that probably also means she paid for her drink. let's see, half the cost of the pizza. So we gotta take this and divide it by 2. And she paid for half the tip. So we gotta take this and divide it by 2. Everything in red, Diana paid for. So for starters, we're gonna have to divide 10 by 2. Well, that's easy. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So she paid $5. She also paid for her food, which was $12.99. She also paid $3.25. And she also paid, we don't know what half of 13.2 is yet. So we got to do 13.02 and divide that by 2. We got to figure out what half of that is. Luckily, this is a nice small decimal. 2 goes into 1, it doesn't. 2 goes into 13 6 times. Gives me 12, we'll subtract that. Left over of 1. Carry down my 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times exactly. Subtract that. Carry down my 2. 2 goes into 2 1 time. So, half of 13.2 is going to be 6.51. 6.51. Let's add that together. Let's see, 9 plus 5 plus 1, that gives me 15. Carry my 1. 1 plus 9 gives me, what is 1 plus 9? That's 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 5 is 17. Carry my 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 6 is 17 again. Carry my 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So the answer for how much Diana wound up paying should be $27.75. That's going to be the answer that we should have gotten for number 6. They probably should have included in this problem saying that that she also paid for her drink. Maybe I'll go in and have time to edit this. We'll see if I have time later to fix that. Moving on to number 7. We're about halfway there. Karen ordered 2 hot dogs for $1.25. So $1.25, $1.25. She ordered 2 of them. A serving of onion rings for $2.99. Okay. And a drink for $0.98. Then it mentioned she pays with a $10 bill. How much change will she receive? Well, first, let's figure out how much money she spent. When I add this together, 5 plus 5 is 10, plus adding those together would have gotten me, I believe, 17. So 10 plus 17 is 27. 7, carry my 2. 2, 4, 6. So that's going to be 6 plus 9, which is 15. 15 plus another 9 would give me, I believe that's 24. 4, carry my 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So she paid, so that's how much she actually paid. That's not our answer. It's an answer choice to trick you, but that's not our answer. We want the change. That's how much she had to pay, but she used a $10 bill. So we're subtracting $6.47 from $10. So here we have to do a bit of borrowing. So we can't borrow from any of that, so we have to start by making that into a 10. Borrow, make it a 9, and now this is a 10. Borrow, make it a 9, and now this is a 10. Okay? 10 minus 7 gives me a 3. 9 minus 4 is 5, and 9 minus 6 is 3. My real answer was $3.53. That's how this problem was supposed to be done. Be very careful to make sure that you line up the decimals and read the problem carefully. For number 8, Paris and 7 of her classmates went out to lunch. They divided the bill evenly. Each person paid $6.36. What was the total bill? So they tried to trick you. This is not a division problem. Read it again. Paris and her 7 friends went out to lunch, so that's 8 people. they decided to divide the bill evenly. Okay, what was the total bill? Each person paid $6.36. If they told us what the total bill was, we would have to divide it by 8. They didn't. They told us how much each person paid from the total. This is a multiplication problem. We have to do $6.36 times 8. That's what we're doing with this. So, step 1, we write out what we're doing. So this means this number has 2 decimal places. This number has none. So my answer should have 2 decimal places. That's what my answer is going to have. We're going to go ahead and set up my multiplication problem. 636 times 8. We're just going to pretend the decimal's not there and remember to add it later. 8 times 6, that gives me 48. Carry my 4. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 4 is going to give me 28. 8 times 6 gives me 48. Plus 2 that we carried gives me 50. And based on the numbers, you already know what the answer is going to be. Here's how you can tell where the decimal is supposed to belong. We wrote down earlier, there are 2 total decimal places. That means my answer should have 2 total decimal places. That's how you can find out if this wasn't a multiple choice problem. We're going to go ahead and move to number 9. Miguel bought a shirt for $13.95, a pair of pants for $16.87, and a hat for $7.79. What was the total amount of money he spent? So this is just basic addition. This is 13.95. This is 16.87. And this is 7.79. We'll add all that together. 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 9 is 21. Carry my 2. 2 plus 8, I'm going to go out of order. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 9 is 19, plus 7 is 26. So write my 6, carry my 2. Put my decimal there. My decimals should be lined up. They're a little lopsided. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 6 is 11, plus 7 is 18. Write my 8, carry my 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So Miguel spent $38.61 as his total. Let's go ahead and go to number 10. So the table below shows the grocery store, the items that they sell. This is just a list. You don't have to do anything with those numbers yet. Justin bought 1 pack of gum. Okay, so he bought 1 of these. He bought 1 bag of chips. Okay. And he bought 1 juice box and 1 candy bar. Cool, so he just bought 1 of everything. So as it turns out, we are just going to add everything in this table. I thought maybe we'd have to exclude something, but no. He bought 1 of everything. So we're just going to add everything together again. 0.35, 0.50, $1.07, and 89 cents. Just raw addition. 5 plus 0, 5. 5 plus 7, that's 12. Plus 9 is going to be 21. Carry my 2. 2 plus 3 gives me 5. Plus 5 gives me 10. Plus 0, it's still 10. Plus 8 is 18. So we write our 8, carry my 1. 1 plus a bunch of zeros and 1. So basically 1 plus 1. So it looks like Justin spent $2.81. It's not a bad deal. Those are actually really good prices for everything. Alright, for number 11, Sarah went shopping. She bought 6 oranges for 25 cents each, 2 apples for 40 cents each, and 3 plums for 18 cents each. She gave the cashier $5. How much change will she receive? So this is some multiplication and addition and subtraction. This is like 1 of everything. So we've got 6 oranges for 25 cents each. So you're going to have to do 6 times 25 cents. 2 apples for 40 cents each. You could just do 40 cents plus 40 cents. That would work. That's not going to take too long. And 3 plums for 18 cents. So I'll start with the multiplication part. We've got 6 times 25 cents. Well, I'm just going to write 6 times 25 since I know my answer should have 2 decimal places in it. 6 times 5 gives me 30. 6 times 2 gives me 12. Plus 3 is 15. And I know there should be 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. So for my oranges, that is $1.50 that she spent. But that's just the oranges. For the apples, she bought 2 apples for 40 cents each. Well, I'm just going to do addition for that one. 0.40, 0.40, add those together to represent buying 2 oranges, and that is 80 cents. So she spent 80 cents on apples. And the plums, you could either add 18 3 times, or you could do 18 times 3 and put in 2 decimal places. Both ways will work. I'm going to choose to multiply. 18 by 3, that gives me 24. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. And I know there should be 2 decimal places. 1, 2. So 54 cents is how much she spent on plums. 0.54. So everything in blue is how much she spent. But she gave the cashier $5. Meaning what we have to do is subtract $5 minus everything that she bought. I'm just going to do one thing at a time. So $5, I'm going to subtract 50 cents from that. Or $1.50 to represent the oranges. That gives me a 0. I have to borrow here. 10 minus 5 is 5. And that gives me 3. So $3.50 so far, and we're done with my oranges. We then have to subtract, we'll just subtract the 80 cents, or yeah, 80 cents. Subtract those, I get 0. I have to borrow here, turn that into a 2 and that into a 15. 15 minus 8 is going to give me 7. Move my decimal down, and move my 2 down. Okay, so I'm done with my apples. Now I have to subtract the plums, which is 54 cents. So from here, I'm going to have to borrow from this 7 to make it a 6, make that a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. 2 minus 0 is 2. So she gave the cashier $5. We subtracted each of those amounts to get $2.16 should be her change. That is our answer for number 11. Number 12, total admission cost for 25 students is $3.37, or sorry, $337.50. I completely misread that. The admission cost was the same for each student. What was the admission cost per student? So we are dividing this. This is division of decimals. We are dividing the total cost, $337.50, and we're dividing that by 25 students. Make sure you have your decimals lined up. No decimals out here. We're good to go. 25 does not go into 3 at all. 25 does go into 33, only one time. So I can already cross that out since I know it doesn't start with a 2. We're going to subtract 25 from here. 33 minus 25 should give me, I believe it's going to give me 8. Let's see, because that'd be a 13 minus 5. Yeah, that'd be 8. We're going to carry down my 7. And 25 goes into 87. Now this would be hard if not for the fact that 25 is a quarter. Think of this in terms of money. 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. 3 quarters would be 75 cents. 4 quarters would be 100 cents. So this is only going to go in 3 times. 3 times 25 is 75, and you're actually already done with this problem. Because once you get to this stage, you're like, well, it's $13 and something cents. That's the only option that has $13. This one is $14 and this one is $10. So you could actually stop at this point in this problem. As I've already said in this video and in class, division problems on multiple choice are unfair how easy they are. Matter of fact, speaking of unfair division problems, here's another. We have, let's see, Jessica and two friends spent that much money on dinner. They left a $6 tip. How much did each person spend if they split the bill and tip equally? So first, they accounted for how much they spent and their tip separately. So you got to add those together to make sure you have the right amount. So $36.93 plus a $6 tip. Add that together. And we get, they spent $42.93 total. Now we're going to divide that by 3, not 2, because it's Jessica and 2 friends. So that's a total of 3 people. So that's $42.93 divided evenly by 3 people. 3 goes into 4 only one time. You can cross this answer out already. 1 times 3 gives me 3. We'll subtract that. Carry down my 2. 3 goes into 12. That's going to be 4 times. 4 times 3 gives me 12. And same as the last problem, you're already done. There's only one answer choice that has $14. Now, if you forgot to add the $6, you might have gotten 12.31. So do watch out for that. They are waiting for you to make a silly mistake like that. Read the careful very carefully and make sure you've included everything that these problems want you to include. Last problem, Mike bought 20 stamps for 45 cents each and 15 stamps for 32 cents each. How much total did he spend on stamps? So we're doing 20 times 0.45. And we are doing 15 times 0.32. And then we're going to have to add those amounts together. So we do 20 times 45. And that's going to give you, let's see, 45. We're going to multiply that by 20. 0 times everything. 0. Placeholder 0. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Add those together. And I know there should be 2 decimal places because this number had 2 and this one had none. So $9 for those stamps. For this one, we are doing 15 times 32. And again, my answer should have 2 decimal places. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So placeholder 0, almost forgot that. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. Add those together. And we get 2 decimal places. So $4.80. Add those together to get the total. $9 plus $4.80. We get $13.80. That's it for the study guide. If you want to use this study guide again to prepare for tomorrow, my advice is wait a couple hours and then do this again later. Let's make sure there were no errors in the grading, so that way I can fix it later. Might take a minute since I paused a couple times, but that's it for the study guide. I will see you guys. 14 out of 14. So it took me 46 minutes and 44 seconds working out every problem and stopping to explain it. So hope, and with me pausing a couple times that you guys didn't see because of editing magic. But I'll see you guys later. Good luck on the test tomorrow. Bye-bye.